just want to show it from a different angle, from a historical point of view, as to what we're talking about, you know,
Yes.
and to what the vibe is and all that. Yeah. So if you have it and you want, if you have it there, which you know,
Well, I have it in my hand.
yeah, run it.
Okay, I'm going to run just a little bit from each book, and this stuff is profound. The first book I'm going to go out of is Hebrewism in West Africa by Joseph J. Williams. Now, brothers and sisters, what y'all need to know about this is that Joseph J. Williams is not just a regular guy who decided to go into some history or to show who the real Jews are. He's actually a PhD, all right? He's a PhD, a prestigious doctor that studied this history that linked directly into the Jews that ran into Africa in 70 A.D. A few weeks ago, I was teaching on the show and showed that Christ says in Luke the 20th chapter that the Roman army will go against the children of Israel, and they would, and the children of Israel would flee into the mountains. Now, I made a statement that we went into the Atlas Mountains around Morocco, and eventually settled into Africa. This book backs up some of these claims. I'm on page 102 now.
Who's the author for this book?
Yes, the author is Joseph L. Williams.
Joseph, is he what is he, American, English, Canadian? What is
he's
he?
an actual he's an English he's an American doctor and historian.
Is he an African American?
He is an African American, absolutely.
Okay.
All right?
Yeah.
But he's one of many.
Uh-huh.
All right? Now, one thing about some of these African American doctors, or what you would call professors, the majority of them in America, they are more so Darwinist, or those that believe in evolution, but you would have some who will study from a more spiritual platform.
Uh-huh.
And those that have traveled into Europe, into Africa, and to different parts of Egypt. And once they viewed certain histories, the history could not be denied. All right? Now, I'm on page 102. And I want you to hear this clearly. I'm just going to read one paragraph here about his examination of excerpts when he visited, or when they visited the Congo in Africa. It says here, still another valuable piece. It says, West African customs. Still another valuable piece of evidence comes from rather an unexpected source. Ignaz Golzer calls attention to the preservation of the Jewish octave among the African savages, pretty much as it exists in the liturgy of the church. He tells us, in Old Calabar on the west coast of Africa, a week of 8 days occur. Most curiously, as the people cannot count beyond 5. Now, this is just a white historian who made that statement here. It says, a priori, this would seem impossible, but it is vouched for by an observer as accurate as Bestian. Further south in the Congo, Herbert Ward remarks the affinity of certain customs with ancient Hebrew law. Thus, for example, if adultery be committed within the village, both the man and woman are considered equally guilty. Outside the village boundary, however, the man only is held at fault. So here it is. It's showing you a case of adultery handled the way the Hebrews handled it in the Old Testament. And see, the question was, how can these people in West Africa have these same cultures if they are not the people? Now, there's more. It says, Professor Keller of Yale University, now this is one of the most prestigious universities in the United States, Yale, relying in great part on data gathered by William Graham Sumner, while treating of disguise and other forms of mourning, places many West Africans' funeral customs in the same class with the ritual sackcloth and ashes of the Old Testament. So even the Yale professors have studied us in West Africa and see that when we perform funerals, it's the same customs as ancient Israel. We put ashes on our head, sackcloths on our head, and what we do is we rent or tear our clothes. They seen this custom amongst the Hebrews in Africa. Now, it says, later on, Professor Keller classifies the human sacrifices and disfigurements that accompanied West African funerals down to quite recent date. Why? Because we started sacrificing to the god Moloch. And because we did this, we fell as a people. Some of them started doing that in West Africa. It says, in the same category with the fact that the Jews had to be warned repeatedly not to cut hair or beard or gas themselves for the dead. Again, he finds the Yoruba first day and similar days of rest in other West African tribes. Anna goes to the Hebraic Sabbath with his death penalty for violators. So it also, there's customs of us actually dealing with the Sabbath of the Lord, which is Friday sundown to Saturday sundown in Africa. And certain tribes, if you don't observe it, it's death. That is in the book of Exodus. So this book is profound. I mean, the book is about 300 pages. Let's see here. There's so much in the book. You're talking about 400 some odd pages. It's a good read, but it'll give you a distinct, detailed understanding of all the parts of Africa the Jews ran into when we went into Africa after the Romans, which were Europeans, took us down. Now, I'm saying this because you cannot tell us that the Europeans or Romans are Europeans and that the Jews they took down are Europeans. That's total confusion. How can one white race take down another part of a white race in Jerusalem? That doesn't make any sense. All right? If anything, if they were all white people, the only thing the Israelites had to do that were in Jerusalem was to just change their garb to a Roman garb, and they would have been safe. So no, these were Europeans taking down black people. Now, there's more. Arthur Koestler. Now, this guy is a Jewish historian that was set up under Jewish white people. He was the highest historian during the 70s and 80s for the Zionist movement or Jerusalem. His name is Arthur Koestler. He died mysteriously. Why? First off, he was in exile for a while. He came out and mentioned that there's no way that the Jewish people in Israel today could be from the descendants of the Israelites in the Bible. He said that if these people are Jews, now he's one himself. He said that there must be a 13th tribe. He named the book the 13th tribe, and after he authored and penned the book, he had to go into exile. They told him if he come into Israel or if he's found in Israel or parts of Europe that he would be assassinated. He's dead now.
Wow.
He's dead. Now, in the book now, there's a few excerpts in the book. All right?
And hold up. This is.
Let me see
This
here.
is. Give me the title of the book again, because I don't want nobody to take that boy.
This book is called The 13th Tribe.
13 tribe.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, the reason it's so profound and he was attacked, because this guy actually go into the origin and race of the Jewish people over in Israel today.
Yeah.
And there's proof and biblical proof that nowhere in the Bible does it say that our people or the children of Israel would be in that region. He explained who they are and what year they converted into Judaism.